anything, this movie deserves credit for one thing, making an actually scary Bloody Mary scene. Paranormal Activity 3 is directed by Henry Joost and Ariel Schulman and is written by Christopher B. Landon. Okay, I'm gonna forget these names again, so just forgive me. This movie stars Chris Smith, Lauren Bittner, Chloe Xangery, and Jessica Tyler Brown. I tried my best. And again, this third installment is now a prequel to the second movie, so this one actually takes place in like 1988. This is when the two main girls in the movie, Katie and her sister Christy, are like little kids, and when they first encounter this demon, which is now named Toby. Yay, we have a name for the demon. Now, a lot of people talk about Paranormal Activity 3 being like the scariest one. Well, maybe that and the first one, and I know Jeremy Johns called it the flashy one. It's kind of like the opposite of Paranormal Activity 2. Actually, yeah, it pretty much is that. Where Paranormal Activity 2 was a bit too slow and didn't really know how to handle tension well, like Paranormal Activity 3 kind of throws that out the window and it does rely a lot on jump scares. Now, that's usually a bad thing, but here the jump scares hit almost as much as they miss. Okay, first of all, let's define what a good and a bad jump scare is. A bad jump scare is the kind of thing that, just kind of pops out on screen and it's not actually scary, like it's a cat or it's a person saying hi. And even if that thing looks scary, like it needs to have some sort of lasting relevance to the story. If they just threw it out there to, scare people and that thing just goes away and no one ever talks about it again, that's kind of insulting to your audience because, like, what was that for? It's emotional manipulation, really. A good jump scare is relevant to the story, and more importantly, it holds you in fear even after the jump. And yes, this movie has quite a few of those jump scares that don't really leave a lasting impression. They're just there to make you jump for 1 second and then nothing happens. But this movie does have good jump scares. It has, I think, two of my favorite scenes in this entire series, and you can really tell that they had a bigger budget in these scenes. I won't spoil them, but let me just say that the first one is this last scene that takes place in the kitchen. That was really cool. Like I was getting chills because it was cool. Not necessarily because it's scary. It was pretty much a jump scare, yeah, but it was cool how they did it. And as I mentioned in the intro, the Bloody Mary scene I thought was really, really cool because it wasn't just, looking into the mirror and saying Bloody Mary 3 times, and that on alone is pretty scary to me. But what happens after this scene, it's so weird, it's so like unexplainable, and yet it really holds you in terror. Like the actors here, they don't just kind of breeze through the situation, like they forget about it later on. It does affect them. Again, there's really not too much I can say about this. It really is, again, like the first two movies. The set of cameras and stuff. Whereas the first movie had just one camera, which I thought was great because, limited perspective. Number two installed like security cameras all over the place, which was a good idea, I guess, kind of boring. This third one, again, has camera set up around, but there's this cool little addition where, the husband in the story, like, he mounts a camera on, like, an electric fan, so it kind of sweeps from dining room to kitchen, and it's a really cool technique because every time the screen moves to one side, you're kind of looking for what it might be focusing on, but then you're afraid of what might pop out in the next side of the room when it goes back. So that's a really interesting tool. I thought the directors had fun using it, and there are a couple of fun scenes with that. And again, I appreciate the universe building, although at this point it gets pretty muddled. Like they're adding a lot of stuff into it, and that I'm not sure if I completely enjoy that because I like the simplicity of the original premise. And this movie kind of does leave a bit more questions than it does answer things. But hey, at least the demon has a name, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, at this point, the essence of the first Paranormal Activity is completely gone. Like, say goodbye to that slow building tension and stuff. This one's just scare after scare. But it's still pretty decent. Like, it knows how to use these jump scares, kinda. This is a better movie than the second one, definitely, but it's nowhere near as good as the first one. But, I still did enjoy it, kind of. It's an okay movie. Okay, so three down, one to go. What do you guys think of Paranormal Activity 3? Did this one scare you? I can imagine like some of my friends being scared by this movie more than the other two. But what do you think about it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Whatever you think, please leave a comment and let's have a conversation.